It doesn't look intimidating. It doesn't carry heavy armor. It doesn't dominate the skyline like a Black Hawk. And it doesn't roar like an attack helicopter. Yet this tiny aircraft has landed commandos on rooftops, slipped through narrow streets under enemy fire, and played a silent role in some of the most classified military operations in modern history. This is the MH-6 Little Bird, a helicopter so small, so agile, and so precise that elite forces trust it when failure is not an option. Before we dive deeper into its secret missions and combat history, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because this is where military aviation stories go beyond the headlines and into the details most people never hear. Now, how did a helicopter this small become one of the most feared tools of special operations? The story of the MH-6 Little Bird begins far from the battlefield. Its roots trace back to the civilian MD-500, a light utility helicopter originally designed for everyday tasks like transport and observation. On paper, there was nothing extraordinary about it. But during the late Cold War, U.S. Special Operations Forces were searching for something very specific. A helicopter that could fly low, fast, and quietly, insert troops into extremely tight spaces, and disappear just as quickly. Large helicopters were powerful, but they were also noisy, visible, and limited in urban environments. What Special Forces needed was precision, not brute force. Engineers saw potential in the MD-500's compact size and agility. After extensive modifications, reinforcements, and military adaptations, the result was the MH-6 Little Bird, a platform built not for conventional warfare, but for missions that would never appear in official press releases. And this raises an important question. Can something designed for civilian use truly survive the realities of modern combat? The MH-6 was built around one central idea: maneuverability over protection. Its compact fuselage allows it to fly at extremely low altitudes, hugging terrain, buildings, and trees to avoid detection. This style of flight, known as nap-of-the-earth flying, demands absolute precision and leaves no margin for error. Unlike heavily armored helicopters, the MH-6 sacrifices protection to gain speed and control. There is no thick armor plating, no redundant systems designed to absorb heavy hits. Instead, survival depends on speed, surprise, and pilot skill. The most visually striking feature is its external seating configuration. Operators can sit on planks mounted to the sides of the helicopter, fully exposed to the environment. It looks almost unreal. Soldiers riding into combat without doors, without cover, relying entirely on timing and accuracy. So why accept such extreme risk? Because in the right hands, the MH-6 can land where no other helicopter can. The MH-6 is not a general-purpose aircraft. It exists for one reason only: special operations. Its primary role is the rapid insertion and extraction of elite units, often in hostile urban environments. Rooftop landings, narrow alleyways, confined courtyards, places where larger helicopters simply cannot operate. The MH-6 is also used for reconnaissance missions, flying low and fast to gather intelligence without drawing attention. In many cases, it serves as the first aircraft into an area, quietly delivering operators who will shape the battlefield before anyone realizes they are there. Night operations are where the Little Bird truly excels. Equipped with advanced avionics and night vision compatibility, it becomes nearly invisible in darkness. This leads to another question worth asking. If the helicopter itself offers so little protection, who would dare to fly it into combat? The answer lies with the pilots of the 161st Special Operations Aviation Regiment, better known as the Night Stalkers. These pilots are among the most elite in the world. Their training goes far beyond standard military aviation. They master extreme low-level flight, night operations with minimal visibility, and complex urban maneuvers that leave no room for hesitation. Flying an MH-6 is not just about controlling the aircraft. It's about reading the environment, predicting threats, and executing perfect timing under immense pressure. One mistake can be fatal, not just for the pilot, but for everyone on board. The motto of the Night Stalkers says it all: Night Stalkers don't quit. And it's this level of skill that transforms the MH-6 from a vulnerable platform into a precision instrument of war. The MH-6 has participated in some of the most intense conflicts of the last few decades. One of its earliest major combat deployments was during Operation Just Cause in Panama in 1989, where it demonstrated its ability to insert forces rapidly and accurately in urban environments. However, it was Somalia in 1993 during the Battle of Mogadishu that cemented the Little Bird's reputation. Flying into a city filled with hostile fighters, MH-6 helicopters repeatedly inserted and extracted operators under heavy fire. Despite taking damage, they continued flying missions that larger helicopters could not safely perform. In the years that followed, the MH-6 became a familiar, though rarely acknowledged, presence in Iraq and Afghanistan, conducting raids, reconnaissance missions, and direct action operations as part of the global war on terror. Many of its missions remain classified to this day, adding to the aircraft's mystique, which raises a critical question. How does such a lightly protected helicopter survive in modern warfare? The answer is adaptability. Alongside the transport-focused MH-6, the armed AH-6 Little Bird was developed to provide close air support. Equipped with miniguns and rocket pods, the AH-6 delivers precise firepower while maintaining the same agility as its unarmed counterpart. Rather than overwhelming force, the AH-6 focuses on accuracy. It supports ground teams in tight environments where larger attack helicopters would be too dangerous or ineffective. Together, the MH-6 and AH-6 operate as a team, one inserting forces, the other protecting them. The MH-6 itself is a highly restricted platform and remains primarily operated by the United States. It is closely associated with elite American Special Operations units and has not been widely exported. However, several countries, including Middle Eastern nations, operate closely related variants, such as the MD-530 or armed light attack versions inspired by the Little Bird concept. Countries like Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and the United Arab Emirates have shown interest in or operate similar platforms for reconnaissance, counterterrorism, and light attack missions. These helicopters offer many of the same advantages: speed, agility, and the ability to operate in complex terrain. So while the MH-6 itself remains rare, its influence has spread far beyond the United States. The strengths of the MH-6 are clear: unmatched agility, rapid deployment, and surgical precision. It excels where stealth and speed matter more than protection. But its limitations are equally important. The lack of armor makes it vulnerable to small arms fire. Its payload is limited, and its effectiveness depends heavily on pilot skill and mission planning. In high-threat environments with advanced air defenses, the MH-6 is not the first choice. But when the mission demands speed and precision, few aircraft can compete. In an era dominated by drones and advanced helicopters, the MH-6 Little Bird remains relevant because it fills a unique niche. Human decision-making, real-time adaptability, and precision insertion cannot always be replaced by unmanned systems. The Little Bird continues to evolve, integrating modern avionics while preserving the core design that made it successful. And that brings us to the final question. In a future of autonomous warfare, will there still be a place for a helicopter this raw and exposed? The MH-6 Little Bird proves that size doesn't define impact. Sometimes the most dangerous weapons are the ones you never see coming. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most iconic helicopters in military history, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share your thoughts in the comments. Would you trust your life to a helicopter this small? Stay tuned. More aviation stories are coming next.